Indeed, Masa, and I'm so glad that you've mentioned the picturesque background behind me, this beautiful dam, and it is part of what drives the tourism industry in this area. And as you retell this background about heightened racial tensions, we have with us tonight Mmoni More. She is a former councillor in the Madibeng municipality. She is now a retired councillor. I need to stress that because she is now part of what is called the Hartbeespoort Inhabitants Forum. But she's going to talk to us about what she observed during her time as councillor here and whether or not these racial tensions are being reported about are to be believed. Let's start with that conversation. Memore, good evening to you and thank you very much for your time.
Tati, and thanks for having me here.
It's good to have you here. You were a councillor between the period 2005 to 2010.
Yes.
What was your experience as a councillor, particularly around the Hartbeespoort Dam, because this is a tourism hub of sorts? Did you experience anything that said there is racial tension here?
I'm going to couple my talk as a former PR councillor for ANC with my employment, my work in the tourism industry.
Yeah.
I moved to Hartbeespoort, Brits, to establish a tourism office with an intention to bring black business into tourism, because we know even now, very few people are participating in the mainstream tourism. I'm not talking your tour operator, your tour guide and other, owning a hotel, owning a guest house. So during my tenure, I ran workshops, meetings, encouraged people across, from in Hartbeespoort, in Brits, in Garankuwa, because that's where I was operating from, to say there is a huge opportunity in Hartbeespoort, business opportunity, where I said we can, houses were very reasonable, affordable, and they were like, no, we are not interested. Tourism is not for us.
Right.
At the end, I had to mobilize some women, fortunately, thanks be to God, where we've got Gauteng group and the Northwest group, where we've bought a 2-hectare land.
Yeah.
So black people are owning land, bottom line. And people have bought land. The only challenge is possibly around the dam. But the challenge is not with people like white or black or colored. The problem is with government. Government is not playing their role to legalize and legislate the area so that when people need opportunities, they apply.
Yeah.
It is done on merits, not on who you know or what you want to do.
Let me ask the question to you in this way, Memor. Recently, there was a march by black business people who are saying that they are trying to take the opportunity in the very same business sector you're referring to. And in so doing, they are being ostracized, their businesses are being attacked, and they even suggested that a restaurant, black-owned restaurant, was burnt down, and the allegation, and I need to stress that word, the allegation was that this was done by white business owners who are established in the area. What do you make of those reports? I honestly am not sure of what to say there, because there has been, the businesses have been here operating. And what happened, I don't know. But I don't want to say it is because of the white business or the colored business. Something has happened. We can't deny that. But for us to start pointing fingers, it's also not helping, because at the end of the day, what did government do? My question to that business is, how did the people get the permission to come and occupy land? Because
in the past, we tried to help. When I was in tourism, we tried to help people to get land. And every time again, you will be referred to province. And province will be sending you to Department of Water Affairs. Water Affairs will be sending you to the municipality. Now, at the end of the day, you lose interest and you leave it. Because government came with clear, good policies to say when there's an opportunity, it must go on tender.
Yeah.
People must be given the opportunity. And we didn't see that. The one time you see a structure, and yes, I was happy that it's owned by a black person, because that has been my support. But then the business is not also respecting the residents. That's where I would say the tension came from.
Yeah.
Because 3 a.m., there's noise. Where does it come from? From these businesses. You
Newly established businesses.
Yes, you can't sleep. The newly established and also some from along the dam. And not only black, even white.
Yeah.
They have been approached by the residents.
To say there's too much noise,
There's
pollution.
too much noise. And you go to police tell you it's not their responsibility. There's no bylaw. You go to the municipality tells you something else. So what do you do? We ended up accepting the noise and accommodating it, find a way of being able to work or sleep.
Sure. That's tough. Talk to us about the earlier point you made, that government is the one that is not bringing these opportunities to bear, particularly when it comes to setting up shop for those that want to set businesses up, setting up shop near the shoreline of the dam. What is it that they are supposed to do but are not doing?
The dam belongs to the government.
Yeah.
And government must come up with procedures and what is doable, what is not doable. Because in a place like a dam, you cannot come and put a structure that is going to prohibit people from coming. I'll give you an example, Oberon. We fought for Oberon to be given to the community, Mekhareng. Those are the communities, the beneficiaries of Mekhareng. But government put the land for sale. The only place that could allow black people to come into the dam, because as you know, these others are private run.
Yeah.
And it comes from prior 1994. They had contracts, which we once raised an issue to say, when are these contracts expiring?
Yeah.
So that others can get an opportunity. Government didn't take it seriously. We've been to Department of Water Affairs, where even at the end, you find a way of how do I bring black people to benefit and use the very same government. We managed to establish working community, like your PPP, private-public partnership, where we had the very same businesses, white business, local community, police, Department of Water Affairs, and other organizations to try to help our own black people, like the hawkers at the bridge there, to capacitate them to be able to sell, to make profit, rather than, like survivor, and also to provide safety. This was a PPP organization. We had the municipality.
Yeah.
We had tourism. We had water affairs. We had police to check the background and be able to assist when they need to be cleared. If they had what do you call? They have been arrested before. We had local business who contributed to buy them the reflector jackets, to have them then to get the name tags.
Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up, Mmoni More. Do you know anything about the lease agreements? Because those lease agreements would obviously be signed or given through government. And in this instance, I'm assuming that it would be the Department of Water Affairs, because that's the custodian of water resources in the country, working hand in glove with the municipality. Do you know who works in those offices, first of all, and whether or not they are actively blocking black businesses from setting up shop near this dam?
I will not say the officials are blocking for people not. The legislature is there. The legislation is there. It's the implementation, but it doesn't start with people who are here. It starts with people from Northwest, the provincial government, that has to step up to come and address the challenges. The lease, well, we can talk about before 1994, where they got 99-year lease. And we had one person who claimed to be in charge of the whole area.
Yes.
Who, even when we were trying to get a tourism train that will leave Hercules to go to Makhalis to create business opportunities and employment, he told us the line is passing there. He says, this is my property.
And you can't have it pass here.
You can't have a pass here. And you address it with government. Government is not taking any action.
And so where's that person now? And do they still claim ownership of this entire area? Yes. They're still there?
They're still there.
And they're still blocking anything that would...
They are still blocking anything that... I mean, there's one descendant who was born here.
Yes.
The parents, the grandparents worked here. The parents worked here. Who has, you know, like, who is legitimate to have something, a business, to be able to take care of his children? He refused. Instead, he gave him employment. And after that, it was like, okay, I'm no longer going to operate, so go. So there is that particular challenge that government must come and address with this person who is also challenging other white people who are using here to say, this is my property. How do you own a government property? He's been a master of himself.
And government seems to counter.
Government seems to accept it. And that is why maybe at the end of the day, people will decide, okay, I'm taking my initiative, I'm making a decision, which is not right. Because even if someone is doing wrong, you can't correct wrong by wrong. Follow the right procedure.
Mmoni More, let me thank you very much for your time, a former councillor at the Madibeng municipality, which is part of this area of Hartbeespoort, and she is now with the HIF body, and they call themselves, it's the Hartbeespoort Inhabitants Forum. She mentions many a times, as you listened to her, that the people who seem to not be able to take action yet, and yet they are empowered to do so, is the government of the Northwest itself. Well, tonight we are going to be joined by the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, because that is the custodian of water resources in the country. They'll tell us what it is that they are doing about this whole situation here.